They warn me not to come here. Not in words, no one speaks about Syrentha anymore. Just stares. Long, hollow gazes, like something inside them remembered and refused to forget. I wasn't sent. I wasn't paid. I came because something in me broke a long time ago, and this planet felt like the only thing wild enough to mirror the fracture. Touchdown was rough. The atmosphere tore at my ship's hull like it wanted me to vanish before I even saw the surface. I landed in a ravine of mirror stone cliffs and venom-colored fog, the kind that poisons nav sensors and burns through your lungs if you breathe too deep. I sealed my helmet, checked the seal again, took my first step into alien soil. It crunched beneath my boots like old bone. Above me, something screamed. I didn't flinch. That kind of scream doesn't aim to scare. It warns. Territory, hunger. Challenge. I kept walking. The terrain here is a collage of nightmares, spiral trees that whisper backwards, rivers that run in pulses instead of currents, and tracks, massive ones, claw marks 6 feet across, not fresh, not old either. I followed them. That's when I saw her. She wasn't human, not by a galaxy's breadth. Her skin was patterned in fluid spirals, metallic blue and burnt silver. Her eyes were pale fire, not glowing, burning, as if her soul was trying to escape. She stood beside a rock outcrop, one hand pressed against a scarred monolith, the other holding a weapon that resembled a living vine fused with obsidian. She noticed me immediately. "You're not supposed to be here," she said, her voice musical yet sharp, like a melody threaded with broken glass. "I get that a lot," I replied, lowering my helmet shield so she could see my face. Her brows furrowed. "You're flesh-bound, unmarked, soft. Guilty." She stepped closer, examining me like an archaeologist studies forbidden relics. "You must leave. This place has no patience for the unprepared." I didn't come here unprepared. "You carry no wards, no bindings, no psionic anchors?" "I carry something better," I said, turning slightly. That's when the ground trembled. Her eyes widened, not at me, but behind me. "Don't move," she whispered. But it was already too late. It emerged like a planet exhaling smoke, a beast taller than any mech I've seen, plated in interlocking shards of crimson alloy and bone. It had 6 legs, a tail like a guillotine, and 2 heads, both snarling. The locals call it Ryshel-Tor. I only knew the stories: world's final predator, apex among apexes. Every species that landed here became food or fuel. The girl raised her weapon, but I lifted my hand. "Wait," I said quietly. "He's not going to attack." She stared at me like I had split in two. "What madness infects you?" But I stepped forward. I'd seen the beast before, in dreams, in memories that weren't mine. A pull, deep and ancestral, something beyond DNA. We shared something. I couldn't explain it, not yet. I removed my glove, held out my hand. The Ryshel-Tor lowered its head, just inches from me, its breath hot and acrid. It let out a low rumble, a sound that wasn't a growl, but something older, something that remembered when suns were born in fire. I touched its snout. It didn't flinch. The alien girl dropped her weapon. "You tamed our apex predator?" she whispered. I looked at her. "No, I didn't tame him." "Then how?" "He remembers me," I said. "From somewhere far older than either of us." The silence after my words wasn't peace. It was pressure, dense and crackling like a thunderhead seconds before it bursts. The alien girl approached slowly, each step reluctant. She didn't take her eyes off me, or off the beast, now crouched, like a sentinel at my side. Its dual heads tracked her, nostrils flaring but not in aggression. Curiosity, recognition. "I am called Elystra Vei'Thal," she said finally. "Daughter of the first consort, bound blade of the covenant sworn." I nodded. "I'm Kaelen Rhys. No titles, no oaths, just here." Her expression tightened, as if my simplicity offended her. I should report you, Elystra said. Your presence violates the accord. This region is sealed by our own blood. I figured, I replied, brushing moss from my glove. But you're not reporting me. You're watching me. Her jaw twitched. And the beast, Ryshel-Tor, I continued, he's bonded to me. Somehow. That means something. Elystra's gaze darkened. That is impossible. He's ancient rage given flesh. We've hunted his kind for generations. Every attempt ended in fire and screams. I looked at the creature beside me. He blinked slowly, his plated neck arcing like a mountain, shifting. Maybe that's why it worked. I didn't try to control him. Elystra was silent for a long moment. Then she whispered, There's a place, a ruin, forbidden even to our kind. You won't survive it, but the truth you're chasing, it sleeps there. Show me. She hesitated. If we enter together, I will be branded a traitor. I will lose my name. I turned toward her. Then we go nameless. We moved fast. Syrentha's weather shifts like a wounded animal, unpredictable and violent. One moment, crystal rainfall, the next, acid mist. Elystra led us through veined canyons, their walls etched with stories I couldn't read, glyphs carved by hands long dead. She didn't speak much, but I could feel her watching me, and I watched her too. There was strength in her movements, not just training, grief hardened into precision. I wondered who she'd lost, wondered if I'd ever be able to ask. The beast, Ryshel-Tor, as her. People named him, followed in silence, sometimes ahead, sometimes beside me. I didn't command him, didn't need to. We moved like fragments of the same shadow. Hours passed. The sky fractured into twilight. Elystra finally stopped near a half-buried structure shaped like a spiral star. We're here, she said. The tomb of Virex Ka. My ancestors believed it held the source of the Ryshel bloodline. I stepped forward. The air changed, thick with electricity and the scent of ancient metal. Something below us pulsed. Inside, the ruin spiraled downward, carved from obsidian that glowed faintly beneath our feet. At the center was a chamber, and inside it, a vault. Ryshel-Tor stopped at its edge and growled, a low, mournful sound. What is this place? I asked. Elystra knelt, brushing dust from the carvings on the vault. Her fingers trembled. This is where the binding began, she whispered. Before war, before blood, my people, we weren't hunters, we were keepers. What changed? She stood slowly. We forgot. Then we were taught to fear what we once protected. Suddenly, a sound, a whispering tone, sharp and close. We turned just as a figure stepped from the shadows behind the vault. Not one of us. He wore armor like cracked glass etched with runes that pulsed red. His eyes were milky white, skin burned in ritual patterns. Hello, sister, he said to Elystra, voice dripping venom. Her body stiffened. Vei'Thal? You're dead. I was reborn in truth, he hissed. And now I see clearly. The beast is not a gift. He is a weapon, meant to be controlled. He looked at me. You bonded with it. That makes you the key. He raised a hand, and everything exploded into motion. Vei'Thal's sudden appearance shattered the quiet like glass under a hammer. His voice echoed through the vaulted chamber, thick with accusation and rage. Elystra's face twisted, a storm of conflict raging behind her blazing eyes. Vei'Thal, she spat. You're a ghost, a shadow of betrayal. He smiled, cold and cruel. And yet I live, sister, and I see the truth. Your precious bond with the beast is a lie. You think it chose Kaelen? No. It was a trap, set by those who wished to control us all. I stood still, heart pounding but mind razor sharp. I didn't know what to believe, but I knew this was the moment everything changed. Ryshel-Tor growled low, a warning to Vei'Thal. The beast's twin heads moved in perfect harmony, eyes flicking between the two siblings. Elystra raised her obsidian vine weapon, vines writhing with latent energy. "You will not threaten him, not here." Valeron laughed, dark and bitter. "You don't understand the cost of your defiance. The beast feeds not just on flesh, it feeds on loyalty, and your bond will fracture." His words hung like poison. Before I could react, Valeron surged forward. Elystra met him with a blade. Strike, dark sparks flying where their weapons collided. The chamber became a blur of movement, flashing steel, tendrils of raw energy, and the roar of the beast. I barely dodged a lash of Valeron's hand, his runes flaring bright red. I realized then that his power came from ancient rites, corrupted, twisted, but formidable. Ryshel-Tor moved between us, blocking Valeron with monstrous grace. His massive form was a living fortress. I reached out instinctively, touching the beast's shimmering scale. "We end this now," I said, voice steady. "Not as enemies." The beast's eyes flickered. Elystra glanced at me, hesitation breaking. Through her wariness, Valeron snarled, "Fools. The real war begins when you realize the beast is no savior. It is the end." Later, after the dust settled, Elystra and I sat beside the faint glow of the ruin's core. Valeron had retreated, but his threat lingered like smoke in the air. Her eyes were distant, haunted. "You trust me," she said quietly. "Even after all this." "I don't trust easily," I admitted. "But you and Ryshel-Tor saved me from becoming just another lost ghost in this place." She smiled faintly, the first warmth I'd seen. "I'm Elystra," she said again, softer this time. "And you, Kaelen. You are a mystery written in forgotten stars." I reached out and touched her hand. It was cool, electric, like holding a live wire. "We're bound now," I said. "By this place, by the beast, by whatever this is between us." Her eyes met mine. A bond like this can be a blessing, or a curse. I didn't care which. Days passed as we explored the depths of the tomb, piecing together the history of Ryshel-Tor's kind. The beast was no accident, but a relic of an ancient experiment, an apex predator engineered as a weapon to protect the galaxy from threats we didn't fully understand. Elystra confessed the darkest secret of her people, their leadership betrayed, the original pact with Ryshel-Tor's creators, using the beasts as tools of war and subjugation. "And Valeron?" I asked one night, staring up at the fractured violet sky. "Where does he fit?" She looked away. "He sought power through forbidden rites, transforming himself into something beyond human. He believes controlling the beast will bring salvation." Shook my head. "Salvation or destruction?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "The line is thinner than you think." One night, beneath the twin moon's cold gaze, Elystra and I shared a moment neither of us expected. She told me stories of her home world, lush, vibrant, now dying under the weight of war and broken alliances. I told her about Earth, my fractured past, and why I came here, searching for something to prove I wasn't just another lost soul. Her hand found mine. "Perhaps," she said, "our bond can heal more than just this beast." I squeezed her fingers gently. "Or break us in ways we can't imagine." But neither of us moved away. Suddenly the ground trembled. A deep, guttural roar echoed beneath the ruins. Ryshel-Tor growled, rising on all 6 legs, scales glittering, like dark stars. Valeron's voice came through a crackling comlink, cold and triumphant. "Prepare yourselves. The endgame begins." And I knew. Whatever awaited, it would change us all. Valeron's threat hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. The ruins shuddered beneath our feet, ancient mechanisms humming back to life after centuries of silence. The tomb of Virex-Ka was awakening, and so was the true power of Ryshel-Tor. Elystra's grip tightened on her obsidian vine blade. I felt Ryshel-Tor's presence pulse against my side, a steady heartbeat beneath my skin. "We don't have much time," Elystra said. "Valeron's forces will flood the valley any minute. We fight or run?" I asked. Her eyes flickered with fire. We fight! The cavern doors crashed open, and shadows poured in, cloaked soldiers with red eyes and rune-etched weapons. Vei'Thal led them, his skin crackling with raw energy, eyes burning with madness. "Kaelen!" Elystra shouted. "Protect the beast!" I surged forward, feeling the surge of Ryshel-Tor's power coursing through me. The bond was no longer subtle. It was a storm breaking loose. The beast's twin heads roared in unison, flames licking at the edges of its armor. The battle was brutal. Steel clashed with energy, screams echoed, and the air thickened with the smell of ozone and burning stone. Vei'Thal faced me directly, eyes narrowing. "Do you understand now?" he growled. "The beast is not a protector. It is a weapon, and you're its trigger." I squared my shoulders. "No. The beast chooses its own fate, and so do I." We collided, his power against my will, but the beast beside me shifted, striking Vei'Thal with crushing force. Elystra moved like a ghost, her blade cutting through the enemy ranks, protecting us both. At the heart of the chaos, I realized the true secret of Ryshel-Tor. It was not just a predator, it was a guardian, a living archive of balance, designed to protect life by any means necessary. Vei'Thal's ambition had twisted that purpose into domination. With a roar, Ryshel-Tor unleashed a shockwave, shattering the enemy's advance. Vei'Thal screamed, his form unraveling under the beast's fury. When the dust settled, silence was thick but not empty. Vei'Thal was gone. Elystra stood beside me, bruised but unbroken. "We've won," she said, voice barely above a whisper. I nodded, heart pounding. But at what cost? Ryshel-Tor lowered his head, eyes softening as if saying goodbye. I knelt, placing my hand on his armored snout. "You are free," I said. The beast gave a final rumble and disappeared into the shadows of Syrentha's wilds. Elystra and I looked at each other, two strangers forged by fire and fate. "This bond," she said, "will always connect us." I smiled. "Maybe one day we'll find a place where we're not hunters or hunted." Her hand found mine again, steady, warm. As the twin moons rose high, I realized that in taming the apex predator, I had also tamed the wild inside myself. And maybe, just maybe, that was the beginning of something new.